everybody, this is Meredith from the Witty Gritty Paper Co. And today I have an exciting product review and giveaway for you. So the product we're going to be reviewing is the Cricut Brightpad. Here she is, voila, big reveal. And it is a tracing light pad. And I was actually approached by the CEO of Cricut and asked to lend my opinion on it. And I was very excited about it because they couldn't find anything on the market that they liked. And so they decided to make their own. So you're probably thinking, you know, what's like the big difference between tracing pad to other tracing pad, right? They all serve basically the same function. How different could they be? But I'll walk you through why I really like this one and why I do think that it is better than pretty much any other one I've tried. But if you're interested in more theory about tracing and like how it relates to watercolor, I have a video about that from last year. So just check the videos page and find that if you want to learn more about my sort of philosophy on tracing and when it's appropriate. But let's get on to our review. So it comes in a very nice box. Let's see, let me get the box. Here we go. Comes in a really nice box. And it's sort of like the Apple boxes a little, where the inside is form fitted to all the pieces. So you'd have your charging cord would be wrapped around here and little instructions. So by the way, the winner of the giveaway, which I'll announce details at the end of the video, the winner will be getting a brand new unboxed, or not unboxed, I guess, Cricut Brightpad, unopened is the right word. A brand new Cricut Brightpad, unopened. I think they retail for like $80. So really exciting giveaway, very generous of Cricut. Make sure to thank them for being so generous. Okay, so let's get on to the product review. So the first thing that I love about this, just right off the bat, is that it's sized a little bit more square-like than most of the tracing pads that I've used. Most of them are rectangles, and I don't like that as much because it means that I have to clear off kind of a large space on my desk to be able to use it. And with this one, it's not really the case. I think it's, the box says, it's 9 by 11.5 is the lit area. So it's a little bit bigger than that with the border. But, you know, definitely closer to square than some of the others. And the other thing I instantly love about it is these round corners. Oh my gosh, the really sharp square corners of a lot of tracing pads, I just hate them. They get, you know, they don't make me bleed, but like I'll scrape my arm against them and it's like, oh. So I immediately love the rounded corners. And more than that, it's also got rounded edges. Yeah, so that's awesome too. And what really makes this a great innovative idea is that I could actually sit with this on my lap, which I've never been able to do with any of my others just because they're kind of awkward, but this is really well shaped to sit, you know, cozy up in a chair or on the couch if you don't want to work at a table or on a desk. So that's really nice. And Cricut actually made it not just for tracing, but also for weeding, which I wasn't familiar with the term. At first, it's basically getting all the little pieces out of vinyl that you would cut out on a Cricut machine. So you certainly don't need a Cricut machine to get a lot of use out of this, but it does have that purpose as well. It lights up things so that you can easily weed out all the little pieces. So if you use a Cricut machine, then you will be very excited because I'm sure with the more intricate Cricut dies, that can be a little frustrating to have to weed out all those pieces. So it is more than just a tracing board. All right, so let's move on to the cord. I also really love the cord. This is just a well-designed product. You can just tell because it's flat, which is awesome for me because I am always with those round cords. They're always getting stuck in my chair legs and and getting caught on things. And I just feel like this feels more durable to me right off the bat. And we've got this little end. It plugs in up here. So it is not battery operated. It is, it has to be plugged in to use it. Let's see if I can manage this here. There we go. Okay, so we're all plugged in and I'm plugged into the wall off camera over there. And for this one, it's not a touch button like a lot of the tracing pads. It's there are actual buttons. So like there's an on button and an off button. So in addition to that, there are 5 brightness settings. So the other tracing boards that I have have like 3. So this is really nice. You can even like have favorite presets for doing specific things. So like say you do use this for weeding, you could, you know, maybe it works great at 2 for weeding. But for watercolor, you have to go to 5, but that way you don't have to like eyeball it like on some of them. So that's very exciting to me, that there are 5 whole different settings. So there's not a huge amount more to it other than the fact it definitely is the nicest tracing table that I've seen. And it also, with the plug, I find that with some of my other tracing boards, the plugs come out of them really easily. Like if I just shift it the wrong way, the plug will pop out and I got to go replug it back in and turn it on, which isn't a big deal, but it can be annoying if you're right in the middle of something. And this one is like, it is holding on. Like you'd have to purposely pull it out. It wouldn't pop out like on some of the others. So that's nice. So right now I have it on the lowest setting. Let's do 2, 3, 4, 5. So it can get very bright. Go back down. Or it can be just a little bright. And let me show you something here for watercolor. So generally when I am going to trace something onto a piece of watercolor paper, since watercolor paper is kind of thick, I have to use the highest brightness setting on a tracing table. And I also usually have to make sure that the thing that I'm tracing, I've gone over it in ink. So for example, I've been playing around a lot with 1-minute sketches of people. And, you know, very primitive and such, but I've been playing around with it because I'm trying to have a more looser improvisational feel when I'm sketching. I think I sometimes obsess a little. So anyway, if I drew this and say I was happy with it and I wanted to trace it onto a piece of watercolor paper, well, normally what I would have to do to be able to see it through the watercolor paper is I'd have to go over it with like a micron or a marker or a pen or anything to make it darker, because the pencil would be too hard to see through the watercolor paper. But guys, that is not so with this board. This is amazing. If you go up to the highest setting, I mean, I can see it perfectly. Really, that's awesome. And that'll save me a lot of time. That means I don't have to ink every design that I do in pencil first before I trace onto a piece of watercolor paper. So that in of itself is a huge perk for me personally, the way I work. And I also did one in ink because with one in ink, you can do it on a lower setting. Like that's just 2 and I can see it very clearly. I wouldn't feel like I had to go higher, but there's 3 and 4 and 5. You could see it even clearer. But the point is, you do not have to ink over things to be able to see them with this Brightpad. So I would say it's definitely also the brightest tracing board that I've used, and I love it for that reason, because it can be annoying to go over something in ink. You know, it not only slows you down, but also sometimes you go over it too fast and you sort of distort your original pencil lines, which you liked better, and you may like the composition less as a result. So I love the 5 brightness settings for that reason. And other than that, that's basically it. I think it retails for like $80. It's pretty expensive. So it might be like a good thing to ask for Christmas or, you know, birthday present to yourself, something like that. And I don't think that it's great for you if you've never used a tracing board before, because unless you use one a lot, you might not find a lot of use for this. But if you do use one, this is definitely the best one that I have tried. And this is not a sponsored video. I'm not being paid for my opinion. This is just something I really like. And I would really say maybe my favorite thing about it is the rounded edges, because really those other tracing tables, some of the cheaper ones, are really sharp. So I'm not a fan of that personally. So that is my product review of this. I hope you guys like it. I will, of course, leave links to it below in case you want to see it. And now on to the giveaway. So the winner of the giveaway will win, as I said before, a Cricut Brightpad of their very own, brand new. And all you have to do to enter is like this video, give it a thumbs up, be a subscriber, and leave me a comment below about your tracing habits. Do you trace a lot? Have you ever traced on watercolor paper? Do you not like tracing? You know, what is your stance on tracing? So that's it. That's all you have to do. 3 things. You're going to like the video, subscribe, and leave me a comment about your opinion on tracing for watercolors. So thank you so much for watching today, guys. I hope you enjoy this. Again, very good tracing pad if you've been looking for a nicer one. then I definitely recommend it. So thank you so much for watching as always, and I hope you all have a great day. Bye.